I'm doing this. Oh yeah. Casio keyboard, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, that's enough of that. So this episode I'm gonna tell a story about when I went to Miami to my brother's wedding. And I got yelled at by my dad. So what happened was my brother had a wedding in Miami. He flew everybody out. It was really cool. As soon as we got there, it was beautiful out, so we all went to the beach, and I was high on Xanax. I should ease into these stories, right? But fuck it, here we are. So I was very high on Xanax because I took about 10 of them to go on the flight because I can't fly. I can't be in enclosed places because I get panic attacks, whatever. It's totally different podcast for that. But anyways, so it was about a 2.5 hour flight, 2 hour flight. So I was still really high on this Xanax. So we go to the beach immediately. Like, I think we went up to the hotel room, put our stuff away, then we went right to the beach. And a waiter came over and he's like, "Hey, you want a Corona?" And my brother's like, "Just get a bucket of Corona." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get a bucket of Corona," and I'm out of it. I don't even know I'm on the beach in Miami. Nothing makes sense. So then the guy's like, "Okay." So he leaves, and my brother's like, "Oh, dig a little hole for the bucket of Corona." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got it in my head that I needed to dig a hole, and I was like, "I'm gonna dig the best hole ever." And I was like a dog digging in the snow or the dirt. I was like, sand was flying everywhere. I'm just like digging as hard as I could. And I'm digging, sand's going everywhere, I'm digging. And I look up and my whole family's looking at me and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "He told me to dig a hole, so I figured I'd dig a hole for the bucket, right?" And my brother's like, I just meant like a little teeny thing. Like, what do you? So the guy came back and I like lowered my bucket of Coronas into like a 3-foot hole, and I was like, "He told me I needed a hole, so that's why I'm sorry for the hole." So anyways, that's not the story. I just remembered that. So the story is, I hate clothes shopping. I hate clothes. I have one pair of jeans and like 6 shirts and work clothes, and that's it. That's what I wear. I throw on jeans. They fit me the way I like them to fit me. I have boots and I have a t-shirt, and that's what I wear. I hate clothes, and a hoodie in the wintertime, and maybe a big jacket, but and sometimes white socks, and sometimes striped blue socks. No, but that's it. I'm not into clothes. I can't stand having to decide what I'm going to wear. So I was really bummed out. Like, I wanted to go to the wedding, obviously, but I was like, "Oh my God, now I have to shop for clothes." And my brother's like, he's like, "You could just wear shorts, a button-down shirt, and boat shoes." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it took me 4 hours to shop for that. But, so we go down there, and it's we're having a good time every night. We're going to the Strip, we're partying, we're drinking at the local bars on the Strip. It's awesome. People are dancing on the tables. It's a really good time, and I'm wearing my regular shorts and t-shirts, and it's just whatever. Didn't even care. And then on the beach, I'm wearing my bathing suit. So the day of the wedding, everybody's getting dressed up. I was sharing a hotel room with my parents and my ex-girlfriend and my sister. So everybody's getting dressed, and I'm like looking around and looking at what they're wearing. I'm like, why are they wearing suits and stuff? This is weird. So I was like, okay. So I go into the bathroom and I come out, and I looked like it was my first day of nursery school, and I was like, "Okay, guys, I'm ready to go." And my dad's like, "You're not wearing that." And I was like, "What? No, he said I could wear this." He's like, "You're not wearing that." And then my mom's like, "No, you can't wear that. You're not wearing that, are you?" And I was like, "This is what I'm wearing." And they're like, you can't wear that." And I was like, "What do you? This is all I have." I was like, "This is all I have. These are the only clothes I have. So we're gonna stop talking about this." And they're like, "No, you can't wear that." And I was like, "Well, what else am I supposed to do? Okay, the wedding is in like 20 minutes. This is what I'm wearing. He said I could wear this. That's that." And like, my anxiety is going through the roof. I'm sweating. I'm so mad right now. I'm like, I actually went outside on the porch and I like sat down, my arms crossed, and I was like, and I like stared at the ocean because I was so pissed off. I was like, "This is what I'm wearing." And they're like, "That's not what you're wearing." So anyways, I finally, they're like, oh, my mom's like, why don't you just wear Daddy's clothes? And I was like, "I'm not wearing his clothes." So long story short, we go to the wedding. Everything's fine. I asked my brother. My brother's like rushing around. He's all worried about the wedding. And I'm like, "Are these clothes okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So the wedding was beautiful. Then we went to dinner afterwards. It was great. Great dinner. So then after the dinner, I'm thinking in my head, we're going to go to the Strip, and it's going to be fun. We're going to go dancing on the bars and this and that. It's going to be wild and drinking. And my brother's like, oh, why don't we go to this one club, this so-and-so club? And then he looks at me and he's like, oh, you're in shorts. And I was like, well, what is it? I was like, what does it matter? He's like, oh, you got to wear pants. And I was like, sorry. I was like, well, I don't have pants, so I guess I'm just going to go back to the hotel room. And I really didn't care. I was like, I'm fine with it. I don't want to make a big deal. It's your wedding day. Go have fun. Whatever. So then I go back to the hotel room with my ex-girlfriend, and then I get a text from my brother. And he's like, you should really come. It's the last day. It's my wedding. I really want you to go. So I was like, I felt really bad. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So then I texted my mom. I was like, where's Daddy's pants? Or maybe I texted him, and he's like, they're in the closet. So I put on these pants that were 4 sizes too big. They were like, it was like a suit pants from the 80s. It didn't make any sense. They were all bunched up. They were like hanging off my feet. They went over my shoes, so I had to roll them up to make them fit, and they were huge. And then the shirt that I put on, like the sleeves were too long. I looked like I was a nursery school kid, like dressing up in his dad's clothes. And I was so embarrassed, but I was like, all right, I was trying to remain stoic and just be like, okay, I'm just going to go have a good time. It's going to be fine. The lights are going to be low. Nobody's going to notice. Whatever, just get it over with. So we take a cab, and the guy drops us off, and I'm looking at the place, and I'm like, this isn't too bad. And then I realized you got to walk down this sidewalk, and then it's out back, and I was like, oh, whatever. So we go out back, and it opens up into this gigantic outside thing. There's like a turquoise pool. Everybody's dressed. Everybody there is the most beautiful person that I've ever seen in my entire life, and they're all dressed like spectacular. Everybody looks perfect. And I was like, this is great. So my brother is like, just wait in line, and you're on the list. And I was like, oh, cool. So I'm waiting in line, and this guy comes over. He's got like one of those head earpieces in, with a microphone on his mouth, and he has like a clipboard. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, my brother said I'm on the list because I'm going to go inside. And he's like looking me up and down, and he's like, wait here. And he leaves. So I was like, we're not getting in. So I text my dad. I was like, we're probably not going to get in, so I'm just going to go. And my dad comes out, and waiting in line, and there's beautiful people everywhere, and my dad goes, come on, what are you doing? Come on, what are you doing? You wasted too much time. Come on in. Come on, you're on the list. And I was like, no, he said I'm not on. He's like, come on, what are you doing? Come on. And I was like, Dad, I'm not on the list. And he's like, just go inside. You could go inside. You're on the list. Why are you out here? And I was like, I'm 29 years old. Why are you yelling at me like that? So we start yelling back and forth. And I look like a little kid. It doesn't make any sense because I'm in these oversized clothes. I'm yelling at him. He's yelling back at me. Everybody's staring. So the whole situation got so much worse. Then finally my brother comes out, and he's like, just come inside. So I go inside, and it was like it was... I don't know. I keep doing that, but they were playing club music, and there was beautiful women everywhere. All the guys were like models. They're spraying this weird foam stuff out of like fire extinguisher looking things. It was wild, and they're playing club music, and my dad is standing there with like standing straight. His arms are to his side, and he's like bobbing his knees a little bit, like up and down, and he's like snapping his fingers, like, and he's like shimmying back and forth. And he's dressed. I'm dressed exactly like him. We looked like two magicians that didn't belong, like that walked into the wrong bar or club or whatever you want to call it. Didn't make any sense. So I was so embarrassed, and that I started drinking out of this bottle of vodka that my brother had bought for us to get in, because that's how you get into this place, is you have to buy a bottle of a bottle. They're like, oh, you bought a bottle? So I was like, oh, fuck it. So I just started chugging this stuff, and my brother ran over to me, and he like ripped it out of my hand. He's like, I paid $3,000 for that bottle. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So that's the story. And have a good night.